Hey there, David here, the head coach from The Body Shapers, where we help women drop fat, tone up, and take control of their body. And in this video, I'm pretty excited to share with you 3 sugar lies. The 3 lies about sugar that there's a good chance you're believing, and it's actually costing you your relationship with food and the results you want with your body. Because I know so many women that I work with find sugar is one of the challenges topics for them possible, meaning they don't understand it, they're not really sure, there's a lot of evidence, a lot of opinions going about sugar, they're not really sure how it actually affects their body, and it leads them to a bad relationship with food and overall just struggling to have clarity on what to eat to actually see the results that they want. So I'm here to clear up 3 main lies, and I'm going to show you practical strategies on how you can have sugar in your lifestyle and still achieve the results you want. So let's dive into it. There's 3 main lies here that you might have heard about sugar that people love to ramp on about and really want to kind of almost fearmonger into you a bit about sugar. Number 1 here, toxic. Have you ever heard this before, that sugar's actually toxic? People actually say this now, that sugar's toxic and it's going to cause so many issues in your body. This one is just straight out ridiculous, because absolutely anything in the wrong dose is actually toxic, and every single chemical and every single thing we put in our body has an amount that would be toxic and an amount that wouldn't be. In fact, vitamin C, something very healthy for you, becomes toxic a lot faster than sugar would. Sugar has no issue with toxicity. You have to have so much of it to cause any toxic issues in your body that it's practically impossible. So that's just one lie that completely scares people and is not true. Number 2, addictive. You ever heard this one? You know, I'm addicted to sugar, I'm addicted to it, I can't stop eating it. This one is a big lie because it's actually more mental than physical. And what I mean by that, yes, people say things like, well, sugar acts on parts of your brain the same way that drugs do, that cocaine does in fact. Well, actually, so does when you cuddle a puppy. It has the same chemical pathway as that, but you don't get addicted to that. All they're saying there is that we have pleasure receptors in our brain and sugar just stimulates them like hundreds of other things that we don't get addicted to. It's often an excuse. And in fact, I saw some research the other day where some researchers looked at all the body of evidence around sugar addiction and actually came to the conclusion that there's very little evidence that chemically we can actually become addicted to sugar properly, not actually from what's in it. It's much more of a mental thing versus a physical thing. But some people think they get addicted or they buy into that, and what happens is it takes responsibility away from you, because instead of being, I ate badly, it's, well, I'm addicted to sugar, it's not really my fault, I'm just addicted. Ultimately, it's a mental battle, and if you're believing that, then it's very hard for you to beat that addiction if you think that that's what's happening, because your mind is literally convincing you you are addicted. So that's a really important lie to realize, that evidence now says it doesn't even exist. So if that's something you feel like you've been battling with, boom, that's not a thing anymore. So hopefully that helped you. Number 3, big one, it causes weight gain. I'm going to tell you sugar doesn't cause weight gain. Look, you're damn right I am, because it's a bit more complicated than that. And in fact, there's lots of research now that when your total amount of food is controlled, when you're still eating adequately, healthy food, getting protein and fiber in, that sugar does not affect weight gain or loss. One study had 100 grams per day difference in sugar between 2 groups, and they both lost the same amount of weight because they had the same amount of calories and protein, and they lost the same amount of weight. It's pretty crazy, right? The issue is not with sugar. The issue is overconsumption of anything. Sugar is just easy to overconsume because, processed foods like that, typically we can eat them very readily, very quickly, they don't fill us up. So it's not that sugar causes weight gain as such, it's that you overconsume it without actually thinking about how much you're having. And if you realize that, you don't have such a black and white relationship with food, because this is where the problem lies in it for me, and what this leads to is almost a restrict and binge cycle, where if you assume that sugar is just bad for all these reasons, so you cut it out, you've got to have none. And then every time you're offered that chance to have some, it's very much a mental challenge. Do I give in and have something I think's bad, or do I stay good? And it's constantly this battle, and then when you do give in, well, you've blown it, so you go full bloat on the chocolate, on the cakes, on the pastry, and you have this restrict and binge cycle, which does not happen if you understand that sugar's not that bad for you if you understand what you're doing with it. So you don't want to be restricting and binging. So what do you actually do? If you're someone who enjoys sweets and treats and wants to have a healthy relationship with it, the key thing here is to practice control. The most practical step I can give you is to start having it in your lifestyle, but start working on controlling it. Because you can't expect just to have it randomly and be able to stop at one piece of chocolate if you never have it, because then when you do have it, you're going to go, all right, let's have the whole block. But if you practice having a little bit in moderation, you can actually build that habit into you, beat, maybe a fake addiction, and start to have that moderation in your lifestyle. But it takes a bit of practice. But if you do that, I know a lot of successful women we work with who have ice cream every night and are still able to lose fat, lose weight, and get in great shape. but they stop at the amount of ice cream that they're gonna have for their body and their energy needs, as opposed to the whole tub. But what it takes is practice, and also that when you eat it, you don't have any mental battles with it. You don't look at it as bad, it's only bad in the wrong context, meaning overconsumed. So if you have a more neutral view on it, and you don't actually lead a lot of mental battles with it, and have a very positive outlook on it, then you can have it in your lifestyle, you can practice self-control, and you can still achieve the goals you have with your body and have a bit of sugar. And as they say, have your cake and eat it too. So I hope that helped you clear up some sugar lies that maybe you've been fed before, and help you build a healthy relationship with food and achieve the body that you want. That's all for now, and I'll talk to you soon.